I'd now like to throw to our very next presenter, and he is the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Modernisation of Agriculture, Native Land and Regional Development, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is called MANRED. Now, Edwin Anak Abit came into government after many years working with Shell in Malaysia, based in Sarawak. His first government role was with the Sarawak Economic Development Corporation, SEDC, where he held various positions in both tourism as well as hospitality, corporate relations and communications before being promoted to General Manager. Edwin will share with us right now the great opportunities and support that's provided for you as investors in food production and agriculture, and very importantly, explain the state government priority sectors for foreign investment. So we're really looking forward to this. Edwin, it's over to you.
All right. Thank you very much, Tina. We'll sort out some technical issues here. Very good afternoon, and thank you very much. I hope you can hear me clearly, Tina, and all the
thank you. Yes, thank you.
To this webinar. First of all, thank you very much for inviting us. Thank you to STATOS for inviting us to be part of this very important seminar. Although this is a new norm, but we welcome this development. Now, on behalf of the Ministry of Modernisation of Agriculture, Native Land and Regional Development Sarawak, we are very pleased to be able to be part of this meeting today. We would like to share some of our areas where we really would like to see investors coming in to join us in Sarawak. Right now, I will present what is the investment opportunities for the agricultural sector in Sarawak. Very brief overview on it, and also on the incentives and so on. Right. So I will cover 5 key areas. Namely the overview of the agriculture sector of Sarawak, the agriculture investment opportunities, our comparative advantages, and some investment incentives that we can really share, and our commitment to ensure that the industry or the players that will come in will have a welcoming time here in Sarawak. Right. So first of all, let me share with you an overview of the agriculture sector in Sarawak. I will cover 4 areas: the natural resources that we have, and our contribution by our subsector, our transformation and our strategic trusts, and the focus commodities that we would like to be developed here. Firstly, our natural resources. Some of it have been covered by my colleague in MANRED, but as an overview, Sarawak has a coastline stretching over 1,050 kilometers with 149,000 hectares of inland water bodies. For fisheries, we also have 4 million hectares of land with agriculture potential, 1.7 million hectares of land under peat soil, 7 million under forest cover. And in addition to that, we have 300,000 metric ton per year of marine fish potential from our inland water bodies, and also we have 160,000 square kilometers of EEZ, or exclusive economic zone. That is at a glance. Now, in terms of contribution by our subsector, just now my colleague has also mentioned part of it, but for agriculture, we contributed 16.5 billion ringgit Malaysia, or 12.1% to the state GDP in 2019. You can see the categories that contribution by our subsector, mostly from our crops, 12.5 billion. Yeah, fisheries 900 million, forestry 2.3, and livestock 761. Right. Now, how do we go about our agricultural transformation plan in the state of Sarawak? We have 5 key strategic thrusts that we look at: modernization of our farming, commercialization, complete supply chain, sustainable agriculture, and of course, global standards. By this, we mean, for example, in modernization of agriculture farming, we are pursuing the adoption of new technology, advanced technology in ICT, IoT, AI, and the likes, yeah? Right? Commercialization here, we refer to large-scale production driven by private sector. This is our new strategy to engage with the private sector, especially investors from overseas, to join us to develop the agriculture sector in the state. We're looking at also completing the supply chain from farm to kitchen, from farm to the plate. So there is a series of development that need to be done to complete the supply chain. In terms of sustainable agriculture, we're looking at optimizing the utilization of resources and environmentally friendly and economically sustainable development of agriculture. And of course, on top of it, we have to abide by the complying to global standards requirement, adopting good agricultural and manufacturing practices, right? And in terms of development strategies, we have outlined 10 areas to focus on. Firstly, promotion of production and export of high-value agricultural products. I'll go into details, a bit more details on this area. Secondly, and facilitate private sector investment. This is where we are having this seminar today. We like to share and to welcome our private sector investors especially from overseas, to help us to develop our agriculture sector. Number three, we like to promote and enhance integrated development of agriculture industry along the whole supply and value chain. So this involves the development of a series of industries, downstream, upstream, and so on, right? And fourthly, of course, we want to promote precision farming. This is our new focus now, using IT, digital technology, both in production, processing, and even in marketing, right? Provision of basic infrastructure and infrastructure is also part of the supply chain. So we need to provide, first of all, the basic infrastructure where the government will come in, and also the information structure, right? We like to open up to private investors and global market access. So this is where, again, we are looking for partnership in opening the industry to private investors, and also those who are already well established in the global market. Yeah. Next, also, we are looking at improving access to finance and credit. In the state government has also some facilities where we help to finance, especially the local investors and the farmers, to develop the industry. We are also intensifying R&D activities along the whole supply chain and value chain. R&D is a key component of this industry, and that is where we will need support as well. We want to strengthen extension and training services and ensure service delivery. And finally, to strengthen our human resource capacity and capability, right? So these are the key strategies that we are adopting. Now I'll go into the investment opportunities, where we really want to share and invite our investors to join us. First of all, we look at the focus commodities. Here we're looking at three areas, namely food crops, livestock, and fisheries. For food crops, we are zooming in on our staple food, that is paddy or rice. We are looking at development of this on a large scale in Sarawak. We are looking also at selected fruits. Here we're looking at durian, pineapple, coconut, and banana. These are the 4 promoted fruits that we are pursuing, and we welcome investors to develop our plantation in this area. We're also looking at selected high-value vegetables and fruits. For example, golden or rock melon and pomelo. In fact, these have been exported on trial basis to Singapore. I think Mr. Chu is very aware of this. We have started this on a large scale, and we like to penetrate the market there. Indigenous vegetables, for example, there's one very unique vegetable in Sarawak called midin, has been on a trial export to Singapore. I understand Mr. Chioso was involved in this, and it costs about 20 Singapore dollars per kilo, over 15 to 20 Singapore dollars per kilo of that vegetable. So it's a high value vegetable, but it grows it's not on a plantation scale yet, right? We're looking for grain maize or grain corn for animal feed. This is one area that we are looking at also to develop. There's a need for the industry to develop, to produce animal feed. For livestock, we have 4 key areas to look at: ruminant, cattle, buffalo, goats, and sheep. These are the key areas for ruminant development. And non-ruminant, we're looking at swine, poultry, and ducks. And then also for edible bird's nest, this is another popular dish internationally. We have this industry being developed here now in Sarawak, and also stingless bee or honey, right? For fisheries, of course, as I said, we have a lot of potential here for development. One is capture fisheries for deep sea fishing and downstream processing, whereas for inland fishery and aquaculture, we're looking at brackish freshwater, where we have shrimps, tilapia, patin, which is currently also being exported to Singapore. In fact, we have since September last year, we have exported 60 tons of tilapia and patin to Singapore, but that is still on a very small scale. So we like to welcome investors to develop this aquaculture industry in Sarawak. Apart from that, also there's a growth in demand of ornamental fish. So that can be another area to be looked at. On the focus agro sector, agro industries, these are more on the downstream industries. We're looking at palm oil, oleochemical production, biodiesel, glycerin, olein, stearin, and animal feed. And rubber. Rubber is also another industry that we're looking at, especially now with the COVID-19, looking at gloves and industrial products for rubber, right? For food crops, we are pursuing durian paste development, production and manufacturing of banana chips and flour, coconut juice and drinks, pineapple juice, cubes, and paste, right? So these are all related to food crops. In terms of livestock and fisheries, we are looking at corned beef, dairy products, porkies product, edible bird's nest, and fish fillet and feed meals for the fish, right? So this is a focused agro industries area. Now, look, to zoom in on these areas, firstly, agro-food sector. So now I mentioned we have a number of food crops that we like to look at. Pineapple, the potential for investment opportunities of the cultivating and processing of N36 and MD2 pineapple for export market is here in Sarawak. We have a suitable area for pineapple cultivation. We estimate it to be around 47,300 hectares of suitable land for pineapple cultivation. Same time also for durian. Durian is a very, very popular fruit now, universal. Potential for investment opportunities, cultivation of durian, especially Musangking, D167, D200, and D24 varieties, right? Now at production of value-added products for durian, such as durian paste, and we also have identified a suitable land or suitable area, soil for durian cultivation, 1.3 million hectares throughout the state, right? Edible bird's nest is another product that we are pursuing. It has a very high quality, export quality potential of processed EBN in Sarawak. In the pork production, this is another area where we are already implemented our pig farming area. The first one is in Pasir Putih, which is an integrated pig farming area covering about 840 hectares with a capacity of over 250,000 SPP. Currently, we are exporting about 2,000 heads of this pork to Singapore, live animals to Singapore. As you can see from the photo there, this is the facility that we have in Pasir Putih. not far from Kuching. It's a modern facility with equipped with the latest equipment and technology there. Right, we have 2 more new areas under pig farming area. They have been identified, but we are looking for investors to join us to develop this. We are also looking at investment into intensive production of swine and feed mill, all right, as well. These are the areas for our pig farming area. The present one, as I said, is already available in Serian, in Pasir Putih, 840 hectares. The other 2 is in Selangor and another one in Semarakan in Bintulu. So these are the new potential areas where we can invite investors from foreign areas, right? From overseas. Another area, Agrofood sector for aquaculture, production of tilapia fish, patin, shrimp, sea bass, and tiger grouper, right? There's a potential there for investment. Again, we are opening up new area in Batang Ait Dam and the Bakun Lake Dam. These are the 2 areas we are pursuing. Apart from that, there's another area in Sundar Awat-Awat in Libang and Rabungan Agro Park, not far from Kuching. Again, these are all available sites to be developed with investors. Yeah, these are the areas just to share with you where the potential area for our aquaculture industrial zone available in Rabungan, in Batang Ait, in Bakun and Murum dams, and in Sundar Awat-Awat. So all these are available for investment, right? In the commodity sector, oil palm is another area that we are really pursuing with very good potential given the price of oil palm in the international market. Currently, we have a capital area of 1.5 million hectares at the moment. We have existing palm oil processing facility and capacity. We have fresh fruit bunch mills, about 80, palm kernel crushers, refineries, and all that. All that are available at the moment, but there is a lot more potential for expansion and other areas for implementation of these facilities. Another area that we're looking at now is in the development of oleochemical plant for biomass products, phytonutrients and products. This is a downstream industry from oil palm. We have identified this as a potential area for investment. So those who are interested can please contact us on that. Modern agro-technology is another sector that is very much a critical part of our agricultural development. The state is keen to outsource and welcome investors for appropriate modern technology, especially in the following areas. Firstly, precision farming or smart farming is where we need new technology. Secondly, digital technology, artificial AI, IoT, blockchain, so on. Farm mechanization and automation is also very much welcome here. We would like to get investors to share with us on new mechanization and automation techniques and technologies. At a glance, these are some of the key catalytic projects or the high impact value projects that we are pursuing. Firstly, the development of precision farming initiatives. This way we will develop precision farming parks. We have identified more than 10 at the moment, which are high value and intensive agriculture farming area using precision farming techniques. So we welcome investors to join us in this very exciting new development here in Sarawak. We are also coming up with agro parks. This is our development of agro corridors, regional agro corridors in an area which we have zoned as our food basket. This is an interesting project. We call it the food basket of Sarawak, where we will develop agro parks to focus on a large plantation scale development, right? Thirdly, also looking at the development of agro-industrial corridor, firstly for rubber in the Bukit Sadok area. This is one area where we will focus on rubber development. Fourthly, we are developing special aquaculture industrial zone or AIZ. These are aquaculture parks. We have identified several areas in Sarawak and we welcome investors to join us to develop all these aquaculture parks in Sarawak. Fifthly, development of integrated livestock industry. Has a great potential here. We have large land all covered with oil palm plantation, and we want to integrate that with our livestock industry, right? For the production of livestock such as cattle, buffaloes, and other ruminants, right? Sixthly, I mentioned earlier, development of a oleochemical plant. This is targeted for development in Bintulu. We have identified the land and we welcome investors to join us on this industry. Number 7, we're looking at large-scale swiftlet farming project through the development of swiftlet eco parks. Due to the market demand for this product, we believe that this has a high potential for development in Sarawak. And of course, finally, this is a new and exciting new project that we are pursuing in Sarawak, the establishment of our first agriculture technology park, or we call it SARTEC. So SARTEC will be our showcase to develop agriculture on a modern, large, high-tech industry level production facility, right? Okay, so we also want to share what are our comparative advantages. Just now, my colleague in MANRED has shared some, but for agriculture, we would like to focus on these key areas. In terms of land, we have 7 million hectares of forest and 4 million hectares for agriculture development. Human capital, you already mentioned just now, but just to share, we have skilled labor and majority are English speaking, right? And we have internet connection, of course, not as good as Singapore, but we are now improving it, right? Internet connectivity. Smart farming, as I said, we are pursuing this. We have already started, but it is still not up to the standard that we would like it to be done. Of course, in terms of disease-free livestock farming, Sarawak is very, very fortunate. We are in an island that is free in a part of Borneo, part free from FMD disease, the foot and mouth disease. And we are also free from African swine fever, mad cow disease or avian influenza. And also we have public health ordinance that controls our quality assurance program, right? Our incentives, there are several incentives being offered by the state government, facilitating land application for commercial farming, the leasing of government-owned assets at very minimal rate. We have venture capital fund to use, and we can acquire global farm and product quality standards, right? In terms of agricultural food production, just now I already mentioned, we have agro parks in the pipeline. Yeah, so this is one area where we welcome investors. That we also have 15 permanent food production zones and precision farming parks on the drawing board. We need investors again. Yeah, the supply chain is another area where we would like participants to be partners in this program. We are talking about collection, processing, and packaging center, or CPPC. We are looking at also wholesale market development, food terminals. This is a new area, a new facility that we are pursuing. Once we have come up with the production, we need food terminals. This will be developed throughout Sarawak, where the key production areas to be developed. Yeah. Now we are also pursuing the development of our Pan-Borneo Highway and our Coastal Highway. These two key transport facility will provide ease of transportation throughout the state. Our Agro Technology Park and also cargo aircraft, and we are now pursuing the development of smaller scale airports that will provide transport services from the rural areas to the market, right? So in terms of incentives, there are several incentives, in fact, for development or for investment to come in. We zoom in on at least five of them. For example, incentives for food production projects, incentive for companies that reinvest in the same food production project. And number 6, we have incentives to modernize chicken farming and ducks. And number 8, as you can see, is agriculture allowance. And number 16, incentives for halal food production. Halal food is a requirement in the state, right? So that is also now gaining popularity worldwide. So in conclusion, and as our commitment to everybody who is keen to join us in the state, we are aggressively embarking on transformation of our agro sector to achieve our vision. Our ultimate vision is to be a net exporter of food by 2030. And the private sector, including foreign investors, are very much welcome to invest in primary production, in downstream industries, as well as along the supply and the value chain. And our government, through our relevant agricultural agencies, will facilitate private investors who are keen to venture into commercial agricultural projects in the state. The promoted business models that we have include public-private partnership, joint ventures, anchor company or outgrower models, in-situ land development model, and so on. There are many ways we can work together, and we are very flexible in that aspect. So to end my presentation, once again, I will welcome everybody who are keen to join us. Please come and visit us. Although now we may have a bit of problem with COVID-19, but I believe that would end soon. And we are really waiting for those of you who are keen to join us. It is an exciting new adventure to come here. The industry is opening up, and it is a very, very opportune time for our public sector, especially from foreign investors to come in and join us to develop the sector in Sarawak. Thank you very much. Once again, with that, I would like to end my presentation. Thank you.